Ray Koob on WMGK with a good friend stopping by, an old dear friend who's coming to play on Black Friday at the Electric Factory. It's my man, Tommy Conwell. Welcome to WMGK, my friend.
Ray Koob, the man, the myth, the legend.
Well, mainly the myth.
The
but
nighttime jock.
You know where the myth came from.
It's real.
We have known each other for, feels like a million years. I think it was even before I worked at MMR. I think we'd done some gigs together early in the Young Rumblers' career out at the Ambler Cabaret.
That's a distinct possibility. The Young Rumblers started in 1984. February 24th, 1984.
That was early.
Yeah, that was our first gig, and, the rest is history.
I got to ask you, Tommy, I know it's Black Friday, it's a big night out on the town, but how did this Young Rumblers reunion come to be? Because you guys haven't been playing together regularly for how many years?
Before 2008, we got together for the first time in Philly since the early 90s, man. You know, in Philly proper.
Right.
I remember in 2000, Y2K, we played in Narberth, the General Wayne Inn. And the promoter says his sphincter is still hurting from that one. Which makes me happy. Al's a good friend of mine, but don't mind getting the better of somebody once in a while. But anyway, so what was it? 2008, the Hooters. Steve Mountain called me and said, "You want to open for the Hooters at the Electric Factory?"
Right, I remember that.
The night before Thanksgiving, and this was like their first, or maybe it was their second year doing it, and they did that for a couple of years. And I said, "Let me see," and I put it together, and I didn't know what it was going to be like, and it was tremendous, man. It was awesome. It was just a love fest, man. And I had some T-shirts made up, and they all sold out.
You gotta love that, right?
Yeah, and people it sold 300 CDs. We made Walking on the Water on CD for the first time. I don't even know whose idea that was. I guess maybe it was mine, but
it was a good one.
It was a good one. We sold
because people didn't have it that way. I only had it on vinyl until you put it out. Then
never came out till 2008 on CD, and so it was really great. And so many people said, "Please start playing more. We miss you, we love you." And I honestly had no idea. You know what I mean? I've always been fooling around doing this and that, but
I see you. I hear you. I hear you on the.
I'll do anything.
See on bar schedules, doing gigs and stuff.
I'm not proud,
Yeah,
what I
but
mean?
no, but it's not that. It's just that there's going out and playing and being part of things. You've done a lot of benefit work with your music too through the years, but to get a chance to get together, with the boys and let it rumble, that's going to be a whole lot of fun.
It's altogether different. It's entirely different than playing solo or throwing a band together. And I throw a band together and play my old songs sometimes, and that's fun.
And you do that when you play with David was seeking his thing, in the pocket
I'll go
thing.
Play a couple of my old songs, but I'll play them with anybody. But getting the Young Rumblers together, and what's so great about it is the audience knows. They know. You say it's the original Young Rumblers, and now all of a sudden, 700-800 people line up to buy tickets. You know what I mean? Whereas you say it's Tommy Conwell fooling around. You never know. It's a bit of a hit and miss thing. But it's really, really, it's just so great, man. I'm telling you, it makes me feel so happy. Makes me feel like the music that we made and the shows that we did had some impact and people remember it. And it's just cool that people know that the Young Rumblers is special. And it only happens, now it happens once a year. For the past 3 years, it's happened once a year. And that's pretty much the way I want to keep it. I like it once a year.
Yeah, it's Black Friday. Day after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Which can, for a lot of people, be the second or third biggest party night of the year at the Electric Factory. Tickets on sale now. And it's going to be a hell of a party, Tommy. That place is going to be rocking for sure.
Yeah, it really. We did the past couple of years. We did it at a club called the Blockley, which is the old Chestnut Cabaret. But doing it at the Factory, is
it's going to be great. Return to the scene of the crime from a couple of years ago with the Hooters.
Absolutely, and also just Electric Factory is just historic, man. It's Philly rock and roll. I mean, literally, it's Philly. It's like the history of Philly rock and roll came through the Electric Factory, either from the old Electric Factory. And then Electric Factory concerts, and then the venue. I mean, just and
you're working with Adam and Larry and all that. It's good. It's good
to
stuff.
Be able to say we headlined the Electric Factory, to me is especially now at this advanced stage, it's awesome. It's cool. So I'm really excited, you know.
Can I get you to do what you do best?
Yeah.
I mean, you're a hell of a talker, and we'll talk about your radio career in a little bit. But I want you to play something hot from the Rumblers and get this party started, musically speaking. Here.
Cool. This is a song I wrote with my old friend Robert Hazard, who passed away in 2008, I think. And I had the verses, and he came up with the chorus. Pretty much, that's how it was. Come clean with me about what you're afraid of. I don't believe in never wanting love. You say you like it, you say it's alright. I saw you crying alone last night. Take my hand and take your turn. There's a chance that you won't get hurt. Take a heart that you can return. Love's on fire, but it don't burn. You're not the first one who's been downhearted. Remember when I was shook up and torn apart. I know abandon and how it hurts you when your heart's breaking. It hurts me too. Take my hand and take your turn. There's a chance that you won't get hurt. Take a heart that you can return. Love's on fire, but it don't burn. Oh, come with me, baby. You will see what good love can be. Love's on fire. Love's on fire. Love's on fire. Love's on fire. Take my hand and take your turn. There's a chance that you won't get hurt. Take a heart that you can return. Love's on fire, but it don't burn. Love's on fire. Love's on fire. Love's on fire. Love's on. Love's on. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, 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 hey. Love's on fire. Love's on, love's on, hey, 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 love's on fire, love's on, love's on.
Good stuff. Tommy Conwell and Ray Koob together here on WMGK. Hazard, man, he could turn a phrase. I'll tell you, it was amazing, his ability to turn a phrase and write a song. But he was also a great interpreter of songs, too. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, he had a sort of like a vision, and like he could put a band together and just call the shots, and like cool performer. He was he had a lot of talent, man. He really did, and he wrote a lot of songs, and he was prolific.
Yes,
like he went about it differently than I did, because I'm lazy. So I like to write as few as possible, just as many as we need, basically.
Back in those days, we were both drunk and lazy.
Yeah, right. That's how long ago that was.
Yeah, exactly.
But so but he like would write like a million songs that all sounded the same, and then take the best one. You know what I mean?
Right,
Which is the way to do it.
Yeah, really. Pick
write
up the one that
25,
feels right.
even if they all sound exactly alike, take 25, then which one's the best, and use that, or take part of one and part. So he was, he was great, and he, he's gone too soon, man.
Too soon. Too soon.
The disease got him, man. So.
Yes. Ray Koob here with Tommy Conwell, and he and the Young Rumblers, I guess now we can call it the annual reunion show around Thanksgiving on Black Friday the 23rd at the Electric Factory. Tickets on sale now. And I think anybody who's used to see at the cabarets or anywhere down the shore, wherever, is going to be making the trek over to the factory on the 23rd. Should be a great show.
I hope so, yeah. We're looking forward to it. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster or on my website, TommyConwellStore.com. Hey, there used to be a black T-shirt with the picture of the band, like basically the picture from our the album, the Rumble album that we made.
Right.
It was our first CBS album. And we're recreating that T-shirt, so there's going to be a retro T-shirt available exclusively at the show.
Cool.
And a bunch of cool stuff. We actually have Christmas ornaments.
That's all right.
So,
Lisa DeStefano will buy one. I'm telling you, there are fans like Lisa who will buy one.
I'm telling you, man. And like, you never know. We'll see, but it's fun, It's going to be a fun show, and you kind of put together the show with the guys, and you rehearse it up, and you do it. And it's a whole lot of fun to do all that, but it's a long process. I don't think people realize. A long time ago, when I was working at MMR, I remember we used to come around. We would spend time looking at the blues stacks. We had a blues library in the MMR days that was probably 500, 600 albums, and we would go through, pull stuff out, listen to it, try to find songs. I remember we were trying to find songs for you guys to play, and we discovered a lot of neat stuff along the way doing that. We were talking before we started rolling tape. You're still on a musical quest, a musical journey. Tell me about what you were telling me earlier about this artist people may have heard of. He's coming to town too. See,
and that you just recently really plugged into.
Yeah, well, like when I was in high school,
right?
I graduated high school in 76, which means I was in 9th grade in 72.
You and me both, bro.
Which means I was in 7th grade in 70. And, Neil Young was everywhere.
Everywhere, man.
And so I didn't care, man. And I was into Frank Zappa, not Neil Young.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
I wanted like something that was funny or crazy or like amazing. I was into Yes.
Sure.
And Frank Zappa and Led Zeppelin and like stuff like that. What else did I like back then? Then I started getting into jazz, which was even weirder. But not that stuff's that weird, but so I wasn't into what everyone else was into, and that's kind of the story of my life.
Yeah, but that's what most musicians do. You surf your own way, follow your own
which
music.
Is cool. But you can miss out on
to start getting into
really
Neil Young
stuff.
now, it's kind of cool, man. That's like some of this stuff is discovery time stuff.
I didn't discover I didn't start liking Van Halen until I was 40. So, and Boston. I mean, like all the stuff that like I was too cool for or whatever. It just didn't connect with back when it was happening.
Right.
It's cool like to give it a chance now and say, wow, this is good. Like Boston or Van Halen. And now for me, it's Neil Young. Like I never owned a Neil Young. I had Decade. Someone gave me Decade. But I never owned like After the Gold Rush or Harvest.
Right.
And, now with YouTube, you don't have to pay for anything anymore.
Right. Well, you can listen to everything, that's for sure,
And so I just started listening to Neil Young, and I don't even know why. I just I don't even know what got me interested. But so I just listened to Harvest for the first time, and it's awesome, and that's my favorite one, Harvest. I love the songs with the orchestra.
Yeah.
Man Needs a Maid and There's a World.
Yeah.
There's a world you're living in, the one I'm talking
sure
about?
I
do. So Neil Young's my new favorite.
Will you play me a Neil Young song that you like?
Because I really
I want to hear, because we were playing around with it when I walked in. I want to hear the whole song if you don't mind.
I never played this song. When I was fooling around with it, was the first time I ever played it. Period.
We okay doing it then? You cool?
Yeah. What do I care? But you know what? We're gonna I asked Slivy, our bass player, Paul Slivka, and it's all the original guys going to play at the Electric Factory. Jim had him on drums, and Slivy, and then Chris Day and Rob Miller. And so, but I asked Slivy, I said, Slivy, do you know that song, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere by Neil Young? It's the title track from his second album.
Sure.
It's just a cool song, And Slivy, and so I asked Slivy if he would sing it. So Slivy might sing this at the show, but I don't know. I haven't gotten approval yet. think I'd like to go back home and take it easy. There's a woman that I'd like to get to know, living there. Everybody seemed to wonder what it's like down here, but I gotta get away from this day-to-day running around. Everybody knows this is nowhere. Every time I think about back home, it's cool and breezy. I wish that I could be there right now, just passing time. Everybody seems to wonder what it's like down here, but I gotta get away from this day-to-day running around. Everybody knows this is nowhere. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Sweet.
Cool song.
It really
worse,
is.
Right?
Huh?
Could have been worse.
Oh man, that was awesome. You know what? This is why I never learned to play. Really applied myself to learn to play guitar. I can play some chords. I can finger pick around a little bit, have some fun with it.
Right.
But you say you just kind of were like playing around with it when you came in the door. You sit down and do that.
Yeah, never played it
Unbelievable.
before. And
Tommy
that's why
Conwell, ladies and gentlemen, the master
Ah.
of dude. You could, I swear, you could sing the phone book. You're just amazing. You just sit down and play and sing, and it comes
I'll
out.
tell you something, Ray. You probably meet a lot of guys our age and older, right?
Sure.
Musicians. I feel like I sing better. Like the old. Has anyone else ever told you that? Like I feel like I sing better than ever.
Your voice sounds amazing. A lot of guys, when they get like what happens with guys, and we've seen it with some of our heroes, they get like north of 50, and they start having problems, range problems, sound problems, that tight quality that you still have it. So treasure
I'm
it, man.
50, so I don't know, but it's sort of like just kind of knowing to relax more, and it's also
it's the experience that you have as a singer, just like you have that experience as a musician, as a player.
Right.
Guys, I mean, a lot of guys, like Peter Frampton, he plays better as a guitar, if that's possible. He's a better guitar player now than he was 25 years ago.
It's absolutely possible.
But his voice is still there. He still performs. His voice still has the range to do the songs that he does. But a lot of guys lose it. And women, on the other hand, sometimes seem to get better as they get into their 40s and 50s as singers. But boy, I tell you what, it's a treat to hear you, buddy.
Thanks, dude. I really feel like I've gotten better. But as a singer, it's like it's gotten easier, right? But you know what? Like a lot of it is, I think, I don't kill my voice. I don't sing like 6 nights a week. Like when I was in my
I didn't think of that. Wear and tear.
We would play 5 nights a week and for 3 hours, and be trying to push it in ways it didn't need to be pushed.
Right.
So.
Well, for a while, you were pushing your voice the way I'm doing it now on the radio. You had a radio career here at YSP in Philadelphia for a long time. When you were doing that, I'm interviewing you like we're just old friends shooting the breeze.
Right.
What was your best interview memory when you were on the radio?
Well, I'll tell you a few worsts. The worsts come to mind.
Okay, we'll start there.
Better. No, but I'll tell you best. Geez, man. I mean, I was only doing it for like 2 years, on doing middays on YSP, which was Debbie Cowton's old job. Right? When she used to be on YSP. And by the way, my first day at YSP, my first day on the air, Debbie Cowton called me and said, "You sound great, Tom."
Yeah.
How about that?
Well,
Is that class?
Yeah, she is a class. That's why she's the maven of the midday, the first lady of lunch.
She's a trip, man. She's great.
By the way, I'm Ray Koob. This is Tommy Conwell. He and the Young Rumblers doing their annual Thanksgiving weekend show on the 23rd, Black Friday at the Electric Factory. It's going to be a wild night.
It's going to be great,
night.
man. Really looking forward to it, and hope everyone can come out. And tickets at TommyConwellStore.com.
We got to get the plugs in here, or Dallin will kick our ass.
That's right.
Get those plugs. It's been 5 minutes.
Sitting here having fun, fooling around, playing little children's games. But
but that's what it is. We're big kids who get to still play children's games, and music, and play records on the radio.
This ain't
and stuff
exactly
like that.
work, right?
We're having fun. I admit it. Every day.
But about radio. Best, I don't know. I never really got to interview like any of my heroes. Who did I interview? Here's who I interviewed. Charlie Manuel.
Okay, that's good.
He said he liked George Thorogood.
Okay.
I said, what music do you like? He
But
said,
bad.
George Thorogood.
Which
fits, right?
It does, really.
And I remember I got Brian Dawkins. I interviewed him, which was like amazing because his YSP was doing football. But here's a couple bad ones. One time there was a guy from, what was it? What was one of the big bands, like one of the big hit bands, like not Creed, but something like that.
In that ballpark.
Stained, or one of those bands, And I got the album wrong. I said, so you got the new album, and it was the last album.
Okay. Yeah, it happens.
Because I went online, and it said new album, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And this was before, like... This is
back in the AOL days, right?
Websites were a little more confusing. You know what I mean?
I got you topped on a story, but we'll talk about that.
Okay, and then another one, but this is the worst. The worst was I'm interviewing Joe, what's his name, from whatchamacallit, Def Leppard.
Oh, Joe Elliott. Yeah.
Joe Elliott, singer.
Right.
And he was a nice guy.
Yeah,
right?
he's a nice guy.
So, and I'm thinking, I'm an old guy, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking,
at that point.
And I always say, it's more fun being a has-been rock star than a rock star. There's no pressure now, you know what I mean? Who cares? I don't need to be cool. I'm not trying to make it,
Okay.
Especially part-time is even better, right? So it's just fun now. So I was like trying to relate, see if he felt the same way. So I said to him, hey, Joe, what's more fun? Being in Def Leppard now, being in Def Leppard in 1983, or Def Leppard now?
Right.
Right? He says, well, 1983 was a terrible year. That's the year our drummer lost his arm.
Oh, God.
I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Why didn't I say 1980?
4, 5, 7, something. Well, sometimes we do that. I once introduced, I had all 3 members of ZZ Top sitting across me like you were. The Reverend Billy Gibbons, Frank Beard, and Dusty, instead of Hill, I said Baker.
I was thinking Dusty Baker, too. That's the manager of the Cincinnati Reds.
Right, and he just looked at me, but Dusty Baker, boy, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
But that's the nature of being in radio. And what they say, it's like jazz, right? There's no wrong note if the next note's right, if you can make it work.
Yeah.
But that's the fun part of it, too. I was just wondering what your experience is like working in radio, and it's good to have you here in the studio.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, thank you, Ray. And you know what? Here's another good one. One time, this guy, I was in we were promoting our albums on Columbia back in the 80s, and we're in like, I don't know, Nebraska or something, and there's we're at the hits. They used to send it to the top 40 station, and the guy had no idea who we are. And he says, here they are. And Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians were also had hits at the time.
I remember this time.
So he called my band Tommy and the Bohemians. Tommy, hey, we have here with us Tommy and the Bohemians. I'm like, okay, pal.
And Paul immediately sprouted a chin goatee, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, that kind of stuff happens, and sometimes the guys roll their eyes. Does this guy even know who I am or what we're doing here?
Oh, absolutely.
But the fact is it is, and it's another aspect of your career that something else you did in Philadelphia that makes you part of the fabric of the city.
Yeah.
And now we got this annual party at the factory, so you can add that to the resume of fabric in the city. With Tommy Conwell, the Young Rumblers on Black Friday at the Electric Factory. It's going to be an awesome annual reunion. I get a feeling we'll be seeing you guys do this, and hopefully more than just once a year.
Yeah, I like once a year, but we'll see. I mean, yeah. I guess I've often thought maybe we could do one in the summer too, maybe twice a year.
I'm thinking beach party.
That's
getting
just old,
me.
Man. I can't handle
too
much
handle
more
the
heat. So, all right, man.
You want to do one more song for me before we wrap this up?
Yeah. Hey, man, thanks for having me, Ray, and I hope to see you at the Electric Factory on Black Friday, and thanks, everybody, for listening, and, we'll see you over there. Thanks, dude.
All right, what we got?
We got the song that got me out my mom's house, and I'm so glad. It goes a little something like this. You may recall, perhaps not, but 7 days a week with you is more than I can handle. 7 nights of love and dirty laundry on your floor. Baby, I can see this whole thing heading into trouble. I'm out the door. I'm not your man, 'cause you're looking for a hero. Baby, it ain't me. I'm not your man. I ain't nothing to hold on to. Baby, I ain't what you need. It's easy being here, but I got ground to cover. There's nothing you can do to make me wanna stay. Although I've been here a while, don't think that I stop moving. I'm on my way. I'm not your man, 'cause you're looking for a hero. Baby, baby, I'm not your man. I ain't nothing to hold on to. Baby, in your sleep, I'm not your man, 'cause you're looking for a hero. I'm not your man. I ain't nothing to hold on to. Ray Koob on 94 Urban.
Yeah, I worked there once.
102.9 WMGK.
Tommy Conwell and Ray Koob together here on WMGK and WMGK.com. We will see you Black Friday, bro, at the factory along with the rest of the Rumblers. My best of the boys will see you there at the party.
Cheers, Ray. Thanks.